Now we're here. Now it's real. I changed the stream title. I forgot. It's morning. Okay, give me a break. It's the morning time. I'm sorry. Okay, but now we're good. Now we're super chill and ready to rock and roll. Here's a throw. I do. Jath, thank you for the follow. I saw that. Appreciate that. Morton Solace, Helonius, Vlacon, Maxizone, Tofu, D2, Aversim, Rassic Blood. Hello. Hope you're all doing well. Hello to the Europeans. I'm here. I'm here at a European time. I think. I'm pretty sure. It's like the middle of the day for you, right? Am I as excited as you are? I am as excited as you are. More excited. Maybe. I'm not sure. It's possible, though. Very ready to see the announcement for the super secret, top secret Project Caesar reveal, which I already know is actually CK4. I got insider information. CK4 confirmed. Can't wait to deal with family dynamics in the 1700s. You're on the train back from work, so connection is pain. Well, hopefully you have the connection when they make the actual announcement. Let me get this music. This is the music that they have on their thingy-mabob right now. Right now. I can get this dragged over. I'm going to pull up chat on the other screen. So I'm going to do that now, so that way I don't forget. Can I get an okay for instantly nuking everybody that posts leaks? I mean, yeah, for sure. You know,
yo,
we
time
should be
for my
good for
monthly.
now, but
remember
if they
to
try
send
in the
you
next
my
couple
prime
minutes.
sub time, lol.
Cherry picking, thank you for the 10 months. Appreciate that. You caught me in the middle of drinking my drink. There be an Empire for first playthrough? Yeah, for sure. What time is it in USA? Right now it is 8:46 a.m. for me. A 15-minute countdown. How do I do this without you guys having to see all of my... Okay, that's fine. That's good enough. Okay. Screen capture. Should I put myself over in the other corner? I don't know where to put myself. I'll just keep it here. Now, how do I pull up chat again? Tools, no, Steam Elements, Docs, Twitch chat. No. I need to... Frick, hold on. How do I have it here? Oh, I gotta use my brain. Oh, it's in the overlay. Okay. Well, hold on. Let me get this done. Now, you could be asking yourself, couldn't you have done this earlier? Yes, I could have. But you're here for the full experience. Don't pose up or shy. Too bad. Pulling you up. Also, how's the sound on the actual music? Streaming tools. Overlay. Where is the actual thing? I'm on a timer. I gotta be quick about it. Oh shit! There is no overlay. It'll be a little quieter. Okay. We'll turn it back up when the actual announcement happens. What do you mean you don't need me? What do you mean? Are you telling me there's other places you could watch this? It's not real. This is the only place. This is the only one. New overlay. Start. Add widget. Stream chat. Oh, how am I gonna do this without covering things up? There's so many watch streams. Not real. Not real. This is the only one. Yeah, that seems fine enough. Okay, I gotta make it a link or something. Okay, there's gotta be an easier way to get chat onto my OBS screen. There's gotta be. Gotta be. But I don't have the time. I gotta lock in. Chat. Save. I have 12 minutes. Maybe I'm super slow. You don't know. Had the promo stuff on the stream. Oh, on the stream view. I have it. I just gotta remember how exactly to do this. It's been a minute. The link is what I'm looking for. Yeah, and then I gotta go over here, and I gotta create a new browser source. Called chat. And then put in the link. I don't think it worked. Frick. What the heck? That should have been it. Oh no. Oh no. Broy Mew back at it again. How did I do it for the other ones? One here. And then I got this one. 10 minutes. 2 minutes down. 2 minutes down. Only 10 minutes left to go. Am I stupid? Not really. Here's the thing. Not really. I'm done. Not really. What did I do different? You know what? I win these. Okay? Are you ready for this? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this live. We're gonna go back to just chatting, and then I'm gonna turn off. I'm gonna regret this later. Gonna make myself smaller. All smaller Poe time. And then I'm going to turn on. I'm gonna get the screen capture. Boom. Window, no, not window capture. Play capture. Yeah. Wait, am I stupid? Hold on, I might be stupid. I may be dumb. Pause, hold the line. Stupid? No. Well, yes, but irrelevant. There we go. See? Boom! Calculated. Ooh. We're so good. Probably starts the scene from one to the other. Yeah, I know. But it was out. I get the chat from outside of OBS. I don't know if that's how I'm supposed to do it, but that's how I do it. Okay, there we go. Let me make the chat a little bit smaller, though. Just gonna shrink you guys a little bit. And I'm gonna bring you over to the other side. That way you're next to me. Like this. Take this. I didn't think it would take me so long. That was my mistake. Save. Okay, somebody say something so that way it shows you guys. Est. Bro. Okay, we're good. We're good. I gotta make it a little bit smaller. Praise the cube. That's right. Can I get some praise the cubes in chat? Praise the cube. Praise it. Praise the cube. Boom. Boom. No, it's gotta be even smaller. Frick. Hey, can I get some greedy gooses in the chat? Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough for now. It's good enough. Okay, it gets your job done. It gets your job done. 6 minutes, 40 seconds. It only took me 6 minutes. Let's go. Can I add Subway Surfers too? No, no Subway Surfers. Add Family Guy. No. Damn it, you're gonna make your attention span be higher. Put stream on 2 times speed. I am behind. Am I behind? What if I just reload it? YouTube? YouTube? Hello? I think we're caught up. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, nope, we're definitely not. We're 2 times speeding. This is how I watch YouTube videos. We should catch up, and then it will update, and then we'll be good. All right. Today is the day, folks. Today is the day. Project Caesar announcement in 5 minutes and 9 seconds. This is how you watch polybods? Respect. 1 minute! It's time. It's finally time. It's been over a year of dev diaries of them calling it their super secret, top secret Project Caesar game. It's time for some Europa Universalis 5 or 1 or just the name. We don't know. It could be anything. Again, CK4. Jadar Dating Simulator, apparently on the table. 1 minute. It's so secret. It's so secret. None of us know. Don't read the NDA. I don't have an NDA. I don't know anything. I don't know how to tell you this. I know just as much as you do for the next 12 seconds. Well, actually, I guess I still know the same amount. I'm not here to do math. It's too early in the morning for math. 5 seconds. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, it's rated 12. Cool. Awesome. Tim, it's your
Hello
hand.
everyone, I'm Johan Andersson. I'm the studio manager of Paradox Tinto and the creative lead for Project Caesar. We've been teasing you guys about this project for over a year now, and now it's finally
Everybody
time
salute.
to reveal what this is all about.
Time. It's time. It's time.
With
Okay.
each stroke of the brush, the landscape unfolds.
Is the volume good?
And with every gesture, a path is carved through history.
Boat spotted.
Ambition, once ignited, pushes forward and can never be tamed.
Look, Crusaders, CK3, confirmed.
With every line, a new horizon. Drawn from the wells of ancient civilizations, the landscape changes, but the drive remains.
That does not look like CK4, guys.
Painting with the sharp reds of revolution and the black ash of scorched battlefields.
Cannon spotted.
Legacy is forged of the chosen, tracing the silhouettes of warriors.
Leave
The
time.
final stroke, like fire across the landscape. Never before has the canvas stretched so far. Europa Universalis 5.
Yo,
Be
Europa
ambitious.
Universalis 5! It's got a 5 on it! Well, I didn't expect that. That's crazy! Whoa! Who would have known? I've been bamboozled. Oh, they're locking in. Was that Lathe? I'm pretty sure that was Lathe.
Yo, it's finally happening. How does it feel?
I'm
I
locked
don't
in.
have words to describe how excited I am about this. This is gonna be so good.
So I'm an EU4 player with 5,000 hours. How different of an experience is this going to be for me?
Weak. Lathe, what are you
It's
doing?
not like playing a new expansion. There's we've tried to change
Gotta play more.
mechanics at every single place. Everything's going to be new. I would say throw away the 5,000 hours, but it's still going to be some
Never mind, I
things.
guess it doesn't matter.
So you and the team have been working on this for a very long time. How happy have you been with progress?
Does this bar go to 11?
It can if you want.
Yeah, well,
So very happy.
yeah, I'm super happy. It's like my team is among the best people I've ever worked with. They're been recruiting people a lot from the
Drip
community.
immaculate? True.
And with people with a lot
Drip
of
is immaculate.
experience, and to be so great. And the amount of history and the amount of mechanics and everything we got into the game is beyond what I dreamed of when we started.
Do you have like a single word in mind to describe the idea behind what you're trying to achieve?
Ambitious, is that a good word? to
Ambitious
use?
is a very good use.
Yeah, I would just describe the game as we set out very ambitious, and it's a game where you can do pretty much everything. in the
Everything?
game. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how I want to play it. There's something for me
Big
to do.
promises.
Yeah, it's like if you want to play
Everything?
Hanseatic Trader Nation, you can do that, just focusing on trade. Or if you want to relive the Ottoman Empire's expansion as a militaristic country, you can do that.
Turk
Or
nationalists
if
are
you just want
celebrating.
to sit and play as your small country somewhere and just get through history, you can do that.
So the world itself is something that's alive.
Yeah, I think that's the best description of the game. We're trying to feel like
It's confirmed for EU5, true. He's in
a
there.
game where it shouldn't feel like a game. It should feel like you actually are the country, playing that country through history and guiding it.
On the scroll, I think it's a
And
map.
how important would you say the community has been to the development of this game?
I don't think there's word that can describe how important they are, because part of my team is built from the community. We have been talking for over a year in various ways, like asking
you
for
kill
feedback
Ottoman?
about
I mean,
the game.
I would
'Cause
assume so.
If there's one
Pretty sure
thing
you can
these
kill
12
anyone on
years
the
have
map.
taught me, is that the community is vital for making a good game. You can't just sit on your own and code something.
Well, Johan, I think I'm ready. Tell me everything there is to know.
How much time do you have?
It's
All day.
5,000 hours in EU4, I can spend a little more.
Yeah, well, I brought a bunch of developers that are more knowledgeable about the details of the game
Okay.
than I am, and they're in the castle up here ahead.
Well, let's go find him.
Yes, let's do.
It looked like Leith wanted to run right there. Understandable. Understandable. Is that a castle? I'm assuming that's a castle. It looks nice.
Welcome to Skogkloster Slot. The servant here will take care of your sword for you.
Thank you. So what happens now? Where
Not a
should I
real
go?
word.
Well, my journey here is over, but in this castle, there's a lot of developers that will give you all the information you need. But
I'm ready for
you
information.
need
I
to
am.
take this to Eric. He will know what to do with it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and good luck on your journey.
Journey. Journey through a building. Leith, also Jad Enjoyer. Any reasonable person is a Jad Enjoyer.
Before this castle was built in 1654, this was just a remote slice of land, a blank canvas. The man who built this castle had been in dozens of them before, but he thought to himself, I can build one even better. You've loved and you've lived Europa Universalis, but Paradox have thought to themselves, we can build one even bigger and even better. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey to discover how they've done just
us on a
that
journey,
with
Leith.
Europa Universalis 5.
Ooh, rafters. Ooh, we love rafters.
The first historical relic on our journey is Dave. Hi, Dave.
Oh, hi Leith.
I thought we were going to Eric.
Welcome
been lied
to
to.
the workshop.
It's a great workshop.
Also, look at Leith's boots.
So this room feels like a pretty
What a
good
fit.
metaphor for the start of game development.
Also,
How
the
do you even
coach would be
begin with
nice.
a project as ambitious as Europa Universalis 5?
Well, we started 5 years ago by building a new studio in Spain, specifically to make the project.
The secret Spain.
So we hired modders, we hired super fans, we hired the best developers from around the world, specifically to make this project.
So once you've assembled this great team, where do you go from that? What's your first starting point?
It starts with a vision, and that vision came from Johan, and it was, I want to make the grandest strategy game. That includes everything from having, from being the most immersive game we could possibly make, having a living world where everything feels like it's impacting something else.
It was very
So
kind
you've
of you to
taken
turn
all
down
the
offer in
buzzwords,
the
gone
video.
historically
for a small
accurate,
creator like Leith could be in
dynamism.
instead.
You
Yeah.
want
I just felt
immersion.
like, you know, he should
How
be
do you
in it.
take those ideas and put them into a game?
That's a tricky question. Well, one of the things you start with is making concept art, so we can decide how everything looks and feels.
What's
The
the
little
first
guys!
mechanic that comes to mind? What do you
Yo!
start with?
Pops, which are population groups, groups of people. So,
Pops.
for example, people of the same culture and religion band together into a single unit, and they can be anything from just one person to a million people. One of these units.
So a single person to multiple millions and millions. So we're simulating hundreds of
pops.
millions.
We
at the
love
start of
pops.
the game.
We're simulating every person who was alive in 1337.
That's a lot of people.
Yes.
EU4's minis.
So the
wins?
population
Ooh,
system is
good
tied
question.
into everything that you do. How do I get
More
more
plastic
of them?
men to spend money on.
With food production, so the more food you produce, the more surplus you have, which increases your population growth. And then, of course, the reverse is true. If they're starving, you're going to lose a lot of pops.
So we're modeling individuals being born, working, dying. I'm assuming they're also going to stratify throughout society. What does that look like?
Yeah, so each pop has
Oh, that
a
black
type,
death's
a
gonna
sort of social
hurt,
class,
man. Oh my
which could
God.
be, of course, nobility, burghers, peasants. They all have different jobs, depending on which class they're in, and they also belong to different estates in your government.
So what's an estate? What do they do?
An estate is a group of pops who have a political agenda.
They don't
Now,
go
most
like that for
countries
nothing, that's
have
true.
the nobility, burghers, clergy, and peasants. And basically, they all have their own
We're all
privileges that you
dedicated
give
Dead
them
Diary
and
watchers
can take away from them.
and readers, which
You
means
can
we're going to
also
know a
sort
lot
them
of
by
this stuff.
social class. So, for example,
we're the super fans.
clergymen are in a different
Brain
group from
broken.
nobility.
Some may call it.
And that would be the estate system.
It ties into the estate system, yes.
There's a new
How does
pope
the estate system work?
right now.
So your pops organize into estates which have their own agenda. They have their own ideas of how they want to run the country.
I guess we're doing Pope
What if
Watch too.
the nobility decide they want something different to me? Can they just go off and
I say it's
do
not
it?
Catholic
It
mood.
depends. If you give them the right privileges, you might give them the ability to build their own fortifications or
real?
allow
I'm
your
not seeing
peasants to
anything
arm
about it.
themselves.
So regardless of if I want it, if I've given them that privilege, they're going to go and do it. And I'm assuming
Yes.
that if their agendas and my agenda line
only
up, that's
black
going to
smoke.
benefit me quite nicely.
You lied.
But they don't always line up. That's the
lied.
that's the rub.
White smoke confirmed. Frick.
What is a privilege?
Okay,
You
we'll do Pope
mentioned
Watch afterwards.
nobility building forts. What does that look like in terms of other privileges, like with the clergy?
So you could, for example, give your burghers control over the coinage. It's all about give and take. You know, you almost never want to give them a privilege, but sometimes it becomes necessary.
So give me a context in which it's necessary. Why would I give out a privilege?
Maybe you want to pass something through Parliament, and the nobility say, we'll only let that if you give us this privilege.
If the inverse happens, their agenda doesn't align with me, I need to either bring them under control or pacify them.
Yes, if you're feeling confident, you can remove privileges from an estate, but you need to be sure that you're in a good position to do that.
So it's a constant balance. I need to make sure that they're happy, but not too powerful that they can take me out.
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. So if I manage to do everything correctly, what does that look like?
If you have a happy populace, happy estates, you have a prosperous nation, and that will allow you to go from this to this.
Well, I've done quite well for myself.
Well done.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Fancy. They gonna eat that goose? You could say their
So
goose is
EU5
cooked.
stretches from 1337 to 1837. That's 500 years of history. A lot happens in that time period. Talk me through how the game changes to reflect the changes in history.
So we've divided the era into 6 different ages, and inside
6
those
ages.
ages we have different institutions, so that every slice of 100 years or so feels different from the previous
Call a
one or
swan
the
a
next
goose?
one.
I'm
It's
racist
much
to
more
birds.
about
The only bird that matters is
medieval
penguins.
fiefdoms
stand by that.
and this sort of old order. But by the end of the game, you have the Industrial Revolution. Prices of coal go up. People are using more modern technology.
Let's talk technologies. These more modern technologies you're speaking about. How does the technology system...
Now,
in
does
this game
coal
work?
go up naturally, or does it go
So
up?
once you've embraced an institution,
there's
that
demand.
unlocks a brand new
Like
technology
this birds
tree.
don't deserve the bird label. This is
and
why I have to be
players can
racist
choose to
other
go
birds.
down that list and unlock
look at this.
specific
We
things
got the
from that
flags.
tree.
So you mentioned institutions.
No, come back.
What exactly
Okay, we'll
are
look
they?
at it afterwards.
So an institution is an idea that spreads. For example, it could be the quest for the new world, which changes the way that you can explore.
It's very fitting that the new pope is announced today. We're watching the EU5 trailer. It's a good day.
So exploration was a
good
big
day.
thing during this era. I'm assuming
Maybe.
that's also
I guess it
modeled
depends
in
on
the
who they
game.
chose.
Yes.
How does that work?
So once you reach the age of discovery, you might want to start looking over the oceans and to decide to colonize distant lands.
So colonization then, how does that work?
So any country can colonize, and it's a lot easier if you have Quest for the New World institution embraced. But colonization essentially allows you to
Cardinals wanted to wrap it up and watch stream. True.
take
They heard about
unclaimed
EU5. They're
territory
like,
and
bro, we gotta lock in.
absorb it into your empire.
So any country can colonize. I don't have to be a specific nation to colonize.
Exactly.
How different does gameplay vary from place to place?
The games vary quite a lot depending on which country you choose. You're impacted so much by your your setup, what pops you have, what terrain you have, and what neighbors you have. That every playthrough is going to be different if you're playing with France against Flanders.
But I'm not locked in, am I? I can take the starting position of France and go wherever I want with it. I could colonize, I could fight, I could focus on the economy, I could focus on trade.
Exactly. It's not railroaded. You can choose which path you want. So you can take France as a big trading nation, or you could just conquer your neighbors.
I just realized
the big takeaway is that it is a living world.
Exactly.
Look at the shape of the lemon.
What we're talking about. To do any of the scenarios we've gone through, I have to take care of my population, right?
Exactly. Your population influences every decision you take. Your population is your economy, and your economy is your population. So you have to look after them if you want to lead your country to wealth.
Well, here's to wealth.
To wealth.
No, bite the fruit, Leith. Bite that fruit. Do it. Bite the fruit. Prove that it's real.
Every game needs a solid framework, and EU5 will have just that.
The population
mechanic will be at the heart of everything that you do. And if you manage it carefully, you will be rewarded with a prosperous realm. Hundreds of millions of people are going to be simulated in a fully dynamic, living world.
That's right,
but
big fruit.
What does that actually mean?
Leith is part of the big
Let's go to the library agenda.
To find out. Not like Banana Republic agenda. Just to be clear, just big fruit. Where are we now? We're in a library? Where the nerds belong. Map on the wall spotted? Map game?
This is a library.
Oh, that's going to complicate the interview.
Fair enough.
Can you tell me about the living world?
Living world means that things don't come out of nothing. It's the population that live in the locations which produce the goods by working in the resource gathering.
I thought they were going to start talking about
or RGO for short.
Undead, and I was like, oh, we are talking about
are used
okay.
in other buildings.
What are those? How do I build them? How do I use them?
Buildings are in locations, and there are many types of buildings that all of them do different things. But in general, they will take resources to maintain and to build, and some of them will produce other types of
not
goods.
that I know of.
And they will employ the population to do that.
What would I do with those goods?
All the goods produced, both raw resources and refined goods, go into the market. And from there, they are used to supply the needs of the population and the needs of the buildings.
So what is a market? How does that work?
Yeah, it's a difficult
I think this
concept.
is going to be a lot of information that we
Imagine
already know,
you're
which
playing
is
as
fine.
England,
Not
for
everybody has
example.
watched every
You
Dev Diary.
have a market center in London, and that would attract the locations around it.
Yeah, all right, we've seen
to
that
the
UI
London
before.
market.
That's good.
Locations will be pooled towards one market or another, depending on the conditions, and all the locations belonging to a market will get the resources from that market.
So if another market has something that I don't have, I can trade for it.
Yes, exactly.
Or you
if
go
you need
take
some
it,
good in your
obviously.
market
Come on,
but you
Lee.
don't have
You're not
access
thinking like
to,
an EU 4
you'll have to make a trade deal between any two
No
markets
trade, just
that,
conquest.
you have access to.
Let's say a location is in the market of Scandinavia, let's call it. Is that permanent
Mr.
or
Beast
can
is
they
Pope?
shift?
Yeah.
Now,
can't
markets
believe you
are
know.
completely dynamic.
work for Mr.
Every
Beast.
location will belong to a market or another market depending on different factors, and markets themselves can be created and destroyed completely freely. Well, freely, they have a cost.
So I, as a player, can both create and destroy markets
Yes,
under
you
my
can-
control.
Yes, you can create your own market if you are, for example, if you are playing
Which
as
seems like a
Sweden
good idea is to have your
and
own market.
you don't have a market because you're trading in the market of Lübeck, for example, and you see it more beneficial for you to have a market in Stockholm, you can create a market in Stockholm.
So in this Stockholm market, let's say I wanted something like legumes. How could I get it if it wasn't already in my market?
If you want some good that's not in your market, then you'll have to make a trade deal. A country
Trying to
can make a
analyze these
trade
UIs
deal
as soon as they pop
between
up, but there's not enough time.
any two markets that they have access to, and
All those
that
tabs,
would move
love
the
to see it.
goods from the stockpile of that market to the market you're moving.
So if I'm Sweden, I can have Danish provinces in my location.
Yes, the goods produced in the Danish locations will be used in your market.
So if I'm buying goods and selling goods, what determines the price of those goods?
Trade deals have a cost based on the distance between the markets and also depending on the price of the specific good. Each good have a base price, and also it will be modified depending on basically supply and demand between the different markets they are being traded. So if a good is very abundant in a market, it will be cheap. And if it's not that abundant or basically scarce, it will be expensive.
How do I get the money to then buy goods at a loss?
Countries can gain income from a variety of sources, but the main one is basically taxing your population. However, you won't be able to completely tax all your population because it will depend on the control you have on the locations.
So what's control?
Control is an indicative or basically the
if
amount
it works
of
well,
power
it'll be good.
that your
If it
country
doesn't,
has
we're
in a
going to struggle.
location, and it will irradiate from your capital. You have your cabinet to increase control if you want.
How can I gather more taxes from like a location?
But the main tool that the countries have at their disposal is the cabinet.
This guy's never heard of tariffs? Oh no.
Thanks, Roger. So Roger has just told us about the living world, dynamic markets, and how to build a prosperous nation. But what I heard was newly conquered territories. Let's head to the armory.
Wish A will not be completely brain dead. That's fair. You steal the resources you need, but they won't trade. It's easy. You just punch them. Just a regular suit of armor.
Eric!
Welcome.
Oh, that's the guy we gotta give the map to.
I've been given this map.
Like this is like a Dora the
it's finally
Explorer.
time we show
Leif
them.
is Dora here.
Let's do that.
And we're on a journey together. Nerd. You don't have to clock him like that.
This is a map of 1337, but how accurate is it?
Well, Leif, I would say this is the most accurate and granular map we ever made for a grand strategy game.
So you're going to need to take
Where
me
are the
through this
farmlands
beautiful
in
map.
China,
How
then?
important is historical
Where
accuracy to
are
something
the
like this?
farmlands,
I'm glad you
Eric,
asked,
in
'cause
China?
Basically, the map we're starting in 1337, I would say we made a huge effort in making it as accurate and granular as possible, which that obviously has its challenges. For example, in the warfare end of things, since now the diversity geographically wise is huge,
That's not
so
true.
a lot of things can impact
They're on the outer
outcome
ring of
a
Bossing
war.
Say.
So basically what we are talking here is that, for example, let's say if you had a military campaign in something around the Caucasus area over here with Armenia and the potential rise of Ottomans and this part of the world, what you would encounter is that it's a very steep place with sort of very thin areas to go through. And that obviously you might feel like it's an opportunity, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a trap. It's a huge trap. By that, which I mean is that things like, let's say, rivers, mountains, straits, those definitely can define the outcome of a battle and potentially the outcome of a war. So you have to be very careful with how you treat your movement of troops in the map.
So before we even get to war, what kind of preparations do I need to make to supply my armies?
I would say, first of all, that going into a war is not easy at all. And
But you just click the
you
declare
can
war
be
button.
challenged in case they declare to you if you are not prepared. In case you are the one that wants to be the aggressor, I would say that the first thing to consider is building a war chest. That would be for starters. But also you have to be very careful with the production game loop of things. Because at starting date, basically you rely a lot into raising levies. And those levies come from population. And the thing is that this population is the one that's responsible for the outcome of your buildings. So what I'm saying here is that when you start a campaign in 1337 and you raise all your levies, you're making your buildings
It'll go way faster.
empty. Part of them.
See. So you're telling me that if I raise all of my levies, get into a bad battle, and my army gets wiped out, I'm also wiping out all of my populations at home, so there's no one to work in the fields and all the buildings.
Yeah, that is correct.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about military objectives, what are some of those military objectives? Can I tell an army to go siege? Can I tell an army to go engage other armies? How does that work?
Definitely. Like, for starters, there would be one of the most used, I assume, is going to be the carpet siege, which basically is the one that
nerdy,
allows you
like
to make a lot of your armies go straight towards the forts of your enemy. So you don't need to be micromanaging on that regard. And that obviously has its pros and its cons. Like, let's say you are too lightly on these tools and you use them a bit too much, maybe you are not defending your own country, because there is a military objective to defend your own lands or to call everyone back to defend. But if you are just using the tools in an aggressive way, it's probably gonna screw you up when it comes to the enemy.
So let's say, hypothetically, I am an Englishman.
Yes.
And I want to press my rightful claim on the throne of France. Can I use my superior navy and sailing ability?
Definitely, 100%. Like, navies in EU5 are meant to be, first of all, for movement of troops. That is a huge thing that helps the troops to move around, but also it supplies nearby armies. So that would be something to take into account. I would also add to this that if you, as an Englishman, start, let's say you go with another one, and you go here, and you start going deep into French territory, thanks to your navies, basically, what you would get is that a lot of the locations in France, when you occupy them, you can basically get their food.
So I can live off the land in France?
Yes.
Here, I'm going to pull the Pope Watch off the screen, and then I'll pull it over when he walks out.
And also, it goes both ways, because you get the food of the enemy, and that means the enemy doesn't get that food. So that is pretty good.
This is like really high quality
for your outcome.
Recording. So you mentioned that wars are won and lost according to your economy, if you're out too long. How do I win a battle?
Winning a battle can be decided by a lot of factors. First of all, as the most usual one, if you have the biggest army, you probably will win. But the thing is that this game doesn't assure you that.
So the different factors are size of the army,
yes,
professionalism of the army,
yes,
the general, the terrain,
yes,
and beyond.
Yeah, I would say supplying your army with food. If an army has low morale due to low food supply, then it's another factor to consider.
So if they're starving to death, they can't fight.
Basically that.
So what are the potential ramifications of starvation then?
That your entire army could die of starvation, which would be a very bad outcome, I would say so.
Starving, definitely bad outcome.
That the enemy will be
little,
super
I can't
happy
make it any bigger.
So, but yeah, in order to supply your army, you would have to consider, first of all, supply depots. That's something you have to get from locations in order to, especially if your campaign is long and you are very deep into the enemy land. And there's some countries here that I would say are huge in terms of territory. Let's say you start as Morocco and you want to invade Castile. So the more you get into the specific territory, the more you might be punished unless you prepare fine with it.
So if I'm Tunisian and I want to invade Castile, the deeper I go, the more I need to consider supply because I could be cut off.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But not only that, because if you don't make sure that your own country is safe in terms of occupations, then you could face another problem, which is that your enemy cuts down your supply. And that would mean that at the end, you wouldn't get that much needed food.
Let's say I have a weaker economy than my opponent. They're going to win. Am I able to secure quick tactical victories in order to beat my opponent? How can I take their resources away from them?
Well, that's a very good question, because there's a lot of opportunities. For once, the map we have in this game allows you to browse very carefully which enemy locations might be producing from the land the goods that are meant to supply their units. So I guess a smart choice, let's, for example, choose the Golden Horde. So Golden Horde relies heavily on horses, as we all know. So if you detect the places that have horses in it, and you are quick enough to occupy those, you're basically decreasing their chances to fill up their ranks once they have some losses. And that would benefit you a lot. That also would include other types of factors, like, let's say, if you are occupying a location that is meant to be a huge food supply for your enemy, then you are doing a very good strategy because you are cutting them down as well. Actually, the magic of this granularity, that it allows you to, if that country is facing other wars, or if that country is just having an internal problem with the managing of their supplies, then you have an opportunity there. So yeah, I would say that if you are using a small country, you're playing a small country, you might have a chance to succeed.
So it's less about the size of the dog in the fight and more about how much food is in his food bowl.
Yeah, that I would say that.
Yeah, that's how
Yes.
the saying goes. Classic saying.
There's many ways to punish your enemy. Another good option, obviously, but that even comes from EU 4 times, although in this case I would say it's harder, would be to occupy the capital. When you occupy the capital of the enemy, basically you are
The victor.
yeah.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for all that fantastic information, but I have just one more question for you. How many princes are there in the HRE? Eric?
Just respect. That's a respectful answer. Just I don't know.
So Eric
lot.
left before I could get all the answers that I wanted, but fortunately I know somewhere else that I can seek guidance.
I thought that was a barn for a second. I thought it was a barn. Sorry. Damn. Really, you're supposed to take off the hat when you go inside first, but that's okay. I forgive him.
Forgive me, random church bench dev, for I have sinned.
Phantom church bench death.
I have a question about faiths.
Fitting.
About
Pope
your
watch?
faith.
No, about faiths in the game.
Oh, well, that I can help you with. We do have around 300 faiths in the game. There's, for example, Catholicism, there's Buddhism, there's Zoroastrianism, there's Shintoism, and plenty of faiths.
And do they have their own unique mechanics?
Yes,
Missed a
everyone
couple,
has
another
their
big one, my
own
guy.
unique set of mechanics that they can interact and play with.
And I'm assuming all these different pops have varieties of different faiths.
Yes, each pop will belong to a specific faith. And in your country, there could be pops of many diverse faiths that you will have to interact with. And they could be perfectly happy, but they could also be unhappy when their different faith could become a problem for you.
So if there's a pop that has the same faith as me, they're perfectly happy.
Not necessarily. They can be perfectly unhappy while sharing your own faith.
Great.
You will have a lot of minorities, both of culture and of faith in your country at all times, mostly. And what you can do about them is, well, you can convert and assimilate them, or you could tolerate and accept those cultures and those faiths.
You mentioned
Tolerate
that I
and
can tolerate them. Does that mean that I can have a fully tolerant society, tolerating all minorities?
Yes, if you're particularly humanist, that's definitely a goal
Let's
to
go.
strive towards.
So you're saying, what does that mean? How does
Humanism
one become
OP.
humanist?
Well, humanism is a societal value in the game, which is opposed to spiritualism. And spiritualist countries would have it, for example, easier to convert and assimilate. And it's one of dozens of societal values that we have in the game. For example, you could be more innovative, or you could be more traditionalist, or you could focus your army, for example, on quantity or on quality, but you can't do both.
Can you give me an example of a major situation that would impact my societal values?
Well, there's one which will come fairly early on in the game, which is the Black Death, which will happen
I bet it won't be that bad.
around like 10, 15 years after the game starts and will affect a majority of the globe.
What can I do to lessen the impact of the Black Death?
Well, you can try different things. You can try to build hospitals, you can maybe establish a quarantine, procure remedies, but
Execute
well,
anybody that coughs.
I hope you find solace in faith.
Not a long time to break. Yeah. What can I do with the Black Death? I don't know, man. It's gonna hit you real fucking quick.
Our tour today is at an end, but it's just the start of our grandest journey yet. We'll find out whether your reign will be known as a glorious golden age or for carnage and chaos. Will you carve your name into history or be a mere footnote in someone else's chapter? In Europa Universalis 5, anything is possible. History is yours to write. One final piece of advice. Be ambitious.
That's the tagline they're going with, huh? Be ambitious. I like to say be greedy. I think that's what they're saying. Greed is good. There it is. Europa Universalis 5. Massive. Love to see it. When's it come out? You're gonna give us a release date? Or you're just gonna be like, yeah, we're just releasing or announcing it. We're not gonna tell you when it's coming out. Oh, is that it? Or did my internet die again? I think that was it. YouTube vids about it are up now. Well, I can't watch that. The Pope, get the Pope, get the Pope. Okay, here's your Pope watch, okay? What? Oh, it just restarted. Okay, well that was the EU5 announcement. Huge. Massive. Let me pull up Europa Universalis 5 on Steam here. Boom. Boom. There it is. Coming soon. Add to wish list. Sign up bonus. Sign up at paradoxinteractive.com. Watch history unfold before you. Prove your mettle as a ruler. Develop your society and be ambitious. Not bad. Not bad. There's no info on if the dev diaries are going to change in any way. So I'm assuming that they're just going to be the same. System requirements. Yeah, let me pull the Pope watch over so that way I don't miss it. We can look at this. System requirements. They haven't said yet. All still be to be determined. I guess I just wanted to get an official announcement out. There's no information about release date or anything like that. 500 years of history unfold before you in Europa Universalis 5. Latest version of one of the greatest strategy games of all time. Rule any of your choosing. Decide which course your nation will take. Explore alternate histories as you shape the world to meet your ambitions. Impose domestic peace in a divided realm. Negotiate your way through an uneasy peace. Conquer new lands to expand your borders. Build a strong economic infrastructure. Mold your society. Govern a nation composed of many cultures and faiths in a detailed simulation of the past. And of course, be ambitious. Prevail in the greatest strategic challenges of the past. Test your expertise in grand strategic planning on a worldscape larger and more detailed than any seen in previous Paradox Interactive games. Challenge yourself to outdo the most famous rulers of the past, eclipsing their grand accomplishments in building your own vision of a richly detailed globe. All right, well, there it is. The EU5 announcement. I have a secret, guys. I already knew it was going to be EU5. I'm just that smart. I was just aware of what was going down. Liar. I know. No, I know it's gonna be hard to believe, but I knew beforehand. Yeah. Everyone's known it's EU5, not real. Nuh-uh. It was just me. It was just me. Check the images on the Steam page. They move. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Sorry. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay. The Papal States. Did Paradox know? Did they know? Okay. Were they aware of the day? But on the real EU5 stream, the Pope stream. All right. So let's look at all of this stuff. We've got all of our numbers in the top here. So it looks like you have your estate. Okay, well, first of all, you have your ruler portrait in the top left. And then the flag. You have all 4 estate loyalties, I believe, is what it looks like. Or maybe their loyalty changes. And the bar represents their actual total loyalty. You have your monies. 341. Okay, this is in 1517, and they're making 341 ducats a month, which is kind of crazy. Their stability is a minus 75, 886,000 manpower, I would assume. Or is that pops? I'm assuming it's manpower. That seems like a lot of manpower. I mean, this is 200 years into the game, so you think it's pops? You're right. You're right. Nope, you're totally right. You're 100% right. That is pops because manpower is over here on the right. You have 75. Looks like legitimacy. 100 prestige. I think this diplomacy thing is diplomatic capacity, perhaps. Telling you what is and is not available. That's war exhaustion. I don't know what this... That'd be sailors. This is manpower. That's sailors. Which sounds pretty good. And then you got your pauses. Speed 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Tells you the date. No, this isn't the date. Is this the ranking? Like world ranking? Maybe? Because that's the date right there. It tells you it's the age of discovery. I mean, the map looks good. The actual map itself here is looking pretty good. Look at those mountains in the background. Damn. Damn. But it's not super saturated. But it looks like an evolution of Imperator's terrain style, which I know people enjoy quite a bit. Look at this. Like, it shows that at the end of the river that there's a deposit of soil and stuff. That's actually really cool. I love that. And you see that some coastlines are rocky while others are sandy or dirt. All right. Huge. And this is the city of Rome. So looking at the capital here. There's a lot of information here, which is great. I love a lot of information. Looks like there's a 3-star artist. Is that what that means? All kinds of stuff that you can hover over and information that you can obtain. And you got all the flags up here as well, which is great. I'm seeing blue, green, yellow, orange, black, and purple. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, green's probably not that big of a deal. Yellow's probably a middling deal. Orange is probably a big deal. But like purple, black looks like it's rebels, maybe? I'm not sure what purple is, though. That might be a Pope thing. Maybe it's international organizations? I don't know. And then you got Victoria over here. Isn't that the Vicky V right there? I don't know what that's for. Over here, there's an outliner. It looks like it has your armies, your navies, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm not sure what it all is, but it looks good. It's so over for people who are colorblind. I'm sure they'll have accessibility option that changes the colors. This is just one thing. Okay. Next photo. This is as France. The Kingdom of France. Not too bad. There's not too much here, but this is the political map mode. Oh, that's not bad. The different colored flags with different shapes too. You are correct. They are, in fact, different shapes. They go from flat bottom, rounded, 1 point, 2 point. So that's another way to distinguish them. Pope? No Pope yet. I'm looking. Don't worry. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that hurricane coming in. That's going to obliterate. That's not going to be good for the people living there, but it's very cool to look at it on the map. Super cool. You definitely know what's coming. You will not be surprised. Not be surprised by that one. There they are! There's the little dudes on the map! Yo! The little dudes! They're walking! They got somewhere to be! Also, Holland gameplay confirmed. Holland is in EU5. I'm not sure what this is down here. These 4 buttons, I'm not sure. Oh, there's a lot of photos. There are a lot of photos. We love that. We love lots of photos. So this is the 100 Years War view, I guess. What year is it? 1408. They're currently in the 3rd phase of the 100 Years War. Click on the bottom, you know? Oh. I guess that would be easier, huh? Negotiate a peace, find new allies, because papal delegates. All right. Well, France definitely has the better ruler. Richard II's not being too good. I'm sure that will not go well for England. Though it does say that England has more strength at the moment. Here, Byzantines. There you go. Byzantines confirmed. Byzantabus are happy. This gives you a view of the government. You can see your spouse. You can see your heir. You can see the stats. Also, he's not great with the old admin points there. I'm guessing that this is a situation of some kind. I don't know, because like that I don't know why he would have that hat. So I'm assuming there's something going down here. And again, I don't know what these buttons are. I don't know. Kingdom of England. This is an age transition where you choose your focus for the age. This has been in the dev diary before. England apparently has colonized Florida in this timeline. Does that say Aragon right there? I think it does. I think it says Aragon. Getting a little bit of the colonial Cuba. What is that? That looks like blood. Interesting, interesting. Here we have Korea. Oh, and this is showing all the different values that you can have. So they're very far over on communalism and innovative, spiritualist, and belligerent. And they're unsynicized. So that's apparently something that you can get access to. I wonder if that's specifically for the Kingdom of Goryeo, or if it is for anybody that borders China, or if it's for any subject of China. But they are becoming Sinicized. Slowly but surely. Earthquake in Constantinopolis. There's nothing we can do or fund repairs immediately. It also gives you a view of Constantinopolis. Shows you all the pops and whatnot. Yeah, there's 121,000 peasants there. Damn. Damn. That's a lot. And then the Duchy of Upper Bavaria, the Holy Roman Empire. 329 members. We love the HRE. We love the HRE, bro. There's so many nations to play. You'll never run out of new tags to play. That's for sure. Voltaire woke up screaming. Good. Suffer. Oh? Apparently Korea is colonizing in this. Where though? Where they can found a new colonial subject. Where are we? In the world. I don't know where Magadan is. You can form a new subject. You can form it and play as it. Or you can keep it apart as your core territory for now. It's about Korea. Ah, Siberian. Gotcha. Gotcha. Here is Castile in 1337. They're showing the different cultures within Castile, but the thing that my eye went to was actually this, the manpower. They only start with 249 manpower, and it looks like it's almost maxed out. You're not going to have a lot of manpower early on in the game. They also start with 1.53. What? There's just so much more money. So much more money floating around in EU5 compared to EU4. This is showing some markets. So this is the London market, the Dublin, and Inverness. Obviously, there's a lot of them. I'm assuming these lines are trade routes, like you're buying things from places. That's what makes sense to me. But yeah, we've looked at all that before. Oh, more guys on the map. More dudes on the map. Let's go. Arrange a royal marriage. Appoint as general. Marry a lowborn. That's if you wanted to turn your ruler into a general. You could do that. Game looks a little dark, you feel? I don't know. It hasn't looked too bad to me. It's darker where you don't have vision. That's true. I think it's just supposed to represent that you don't have vision there. This is the Mamluk Sultanate. Look at that. All those floodplains. Good stuff. You're going to be able to grow a lot of food here. Who would have thunk it? Who would have figured? Grow a lot of food in the Nile Delta? What? Weird. Imagine. Uh-oh. Black Death spreads. What can we do? Manpower is crazy. They do have a hell of a lot more manpower. They're gaining more manpower in a month than Castile has in total. Europeans are going to have to check themselves early in the game. Black Death spreads. What can we do? Die. That's the answer. You fucking die. Ooh, Kingdom of Majapahit. A little bit Southeast Asia here. Looks like they own stuff over here manually. Sunda, I think Sunda would be a subject, right? I think most people here are a subject, actually. If I recall correctly. And then we have Morocco of two little guys shooting at each other. They go pew pew. Oh, so this is what the actual battle UI looks like. Is you have it in the bottom left corner. I mean, I like that. I definitely do not hate that. So you don't have to, it doesn't take up your whole screen. You can still look at whatever's happening. You can still click other things while it is up. So in this case, the top flank, is this Morocco? I think, yeah, it is. Moroccans have the advantage on the top flank and disadvantage on the other two slots, essentially. But they have a lot more morale, so they'll probably win. That is cool. That is cool. All right, that's all the screenshots. Maybe those buttons in the bottom center are time-sensitive notifications. Maybe. It could be. It could be. Yeah, it could be that there's 4 battles happening. That could also be it. These could be naval battles happening. Who knows? There's also a siege up here in the top, if you look. Would be interesting if they allow us to move our troops around the different flanks. I mean, you can. You just can't do it in the middle of battle, I don't think. But you can do it. Like, before you engage, you can move around where you place them. Each dude a bit different. Yeah, they have a couple of different models here that they can show. That way it's not all, 12 of the same guys shooting at 12 of the same guys. And there it is. There is the EU5. It's similar. Dog. Similar to games you've played. Terra Invicta. Oh, is that the only one? It's not similar to any other game that I've played? I can't. I mean, I don't even know what I would be thinking of right now. Just randomly, maybe EU4, maybe.